These are the secondary prefix. Okay, these are the secondary prefix. Certain groups in the organic chemistry are written as a prefixes, and see, they are regarded as a substituent. Whenever you write the IUPAC name, if the compound contains any branch or the substituent, then we will write it at the start. It will come as a prefix. To see if the groups, following groups are present. Okay, if fluorine is present in the compound, that F, that is the fluorine. So if fluorine is present, then we will use the that prefix for that is the fluoro. Then if chlorine is present, then we will not write it as a chlorine. So we have to write the prefix, that is chloro. Then bromine is present, then we will write this prefix. We are it comes as a prefix, means it will come at the start of the that compound. When we start writing the name of the IUPAC name for that compound, so prefix that comes at the start. It will come at the start, okay, not at the end. Prefix, you have to before the name. Okay, before the name we will use the prefix. So for the fluorine, you have to remember this. Okay, for the fluorine we use the prefix that is fluoro. For the chlorine we use the prefix that is chloro. For the bromine it is bromo. And iodine, that for the iodine it is iodo. So these are the suffix, okay, primary suffix. So that will come after the word root. After the word root, first comes the prefix, then comes, so in the prefixes, generally what includes the substituent present on that molecule, okay. So that will come at the first prefixes. Then comes the word root. That is, we have yesterday studied, that is for the one single carbon atom, we use the meth. Then for the two carbon atoms, we use the ith. And um, then comes the primary suffixes, means this. So primary suffixes means that ane. If it is alkane, then we will methane, it becomes methane. If it is double bonds are present, okay, then if two carbons are there, then it becomes ethene. So like this, the primary suffix, like ane, ene, hyene, it depends on the type of bonds present in that carbon-carbon bonds present in that molecule, or in the organic compound. For the single bond, we use the ane. If it is double bond, then we use the ene. Then that is triple bond, means it is alkynes. Okay, so we use the suffix, primary suffix, that is yne. Then there are the secondary suffix. Now see, the secondary suffix includes the functional group. It represents the functional group present in that molecule. So there are different functional groups present. See, here is a class of compounds and the functional groups, and for that functional group, which secondary suffix we use. So you have to know this. You have to remember this. So see, if the class of the compound, if the alcohols are there, so see, alcohol compounds contains the functional group that is OH, that we call that is a hydroxy group. OH is a hydroxy group. So alcohol, its functional group is OH, and for that we use the secondary suffix that is OL. Okay, that is ol. We pronounce it as a ol. Then aldehydes. So for the aldehydes, functional group is CHO. And for that, the secondary suffix is Al. Okay. Then for the ketones, the ketone contains the functional group that is C double bond O. And the secondary suffix we use for that is ONE, that is own. Okay, ketone. So that is ONE for the ketone. Then carboxylic acid. Carboxylic acid compounds contains the functional group COOH. Means like it is COOH, but in actual we write it as a see COOH we have written here because we write it as a for our simplification. Okay, for our easiness. But actually the group is C double bond OOH like this. Now CHO also for the aldehyde, it is written like this CHO, but in actual it is, if we have to show the bonding, then it is C double bond OH. Okay, carbon is attached to hydrogen and the carbon it is double bonded to the oxygen. Then ketones, then carboxylic acid contains COOH. In that also the carbon is doubly bonded to the oxygen and the OH is attached to the carbon. For that, we use the secondary suffix that is OIC acid, that is oic acid. Okay, oic acid. Then amines. For amines contains the functional group that is NH2. Contains the functional group that is NH2. So that is a secondary suffix we use, that is amine. Okay. Then esters. Now for the esters, the functional groups comes as a COOR. Now COOR means C doubly bonded to the oxygen, C double bond O and OR that is attached to the carbon. So for the esters, we use the secondary suffix that is OATE, OATE, that is OATE. So these are some class of compounds and its functional groups and its secondary suffix. Okay. So you have to learn this. See which class of, if alcohol is there, then which functional group should it contain, and for that which suffix we use. You have to remember this. You have to learn this. See, writing the IUPAC name we have seen. The first in the IUPAC naming, it is the systematic name. Okay, given to the that compound. So why actually these basic rules for the IUPAC nomenclature have there are lots of chemical compounds are there, and there are many complex molecules are also there. So to name that compounds easily, okay. So there are two types of names are there. So first, trivial, trivial name, okay. That is, and second one comes the IUPAC name. So trivial name, see, these are the name of the organic compounds were related to the natural sources from which they were obtained or a physical property of that compound. Like see, the acetic acid, okay. So its name that is from the Latin name of vinegar. So for the vinegar, its Latin name used, that is the acetum. So from that acetic acid word is derived. And see the formic acid. The formic acid, it is obtained by distillation. And see the formic acid, you should know actually that formic acid is present in the red ants. Okay, the red ants which contains that formic acid. So that formic acid is obtained by the distillation of red ants whose Latin name is formica. Red ants in the Latin, it is called the formica. And then there is a sea butter. we use the butter. So in the butter also there is a butyric acid. So that butyric acid that is from the butter. From where these names comes, okay. So now uric acid. So the urea name, that urea compound, chemical compound is there. So it is come from the name that is uric acid. So these are the non-systematic names. So these are originated, these names originated from its natural sources. And there is a second naming system that is we are using, like IUPAC naming, that is the systematic naming system. So by using this IUPAC naming system, okay, we can name the any complex molecule. If the molecule is bigger, we can name it by using this IUPAC naming system. So this IUPAC naming system is divided into this four parts, like prefix. In the name, first comes the prefix, then comes the word root, then comes the primary suffix, then comes the secondary suffix. Now see, for example, now this is the one molecule is there, CH3, CH, CH2, OH. Now you can see the OH is attached. OH, that is the functional group. Then this is which class of compound? Is alcohol, because OH is attached. Now see, while first in our first rule of IUPAC nomenclature, so it is written like we have to select the longest continuous chain. So now in this, we will first select the longest continuous chain. So in that, we will select this like 1, 2, and 3. See, name numbers are there 1, 2, 3. So that is the longest chain we have selected. Okay, 1, 2, 3. So now see 1, 2, 3 means 3 carbons are present. Okay, 3 carbons are present. Then you will use that table. Okay, if number of carbons are 3, then we will use the word root, that is prop. Okay, PROP, that is prop. So prop. Then now see, we will there is on the second carbon there is a methyl group attached. Okay. So the prefix. So prefix we are using at the start. Okay, start of the that is before the word root. Your prefix comes. So prefixes are normally the substituent present. So here now see the CH3, okay, methyl group. That is the methyl group. So prefix comes, that is the your prefix here. It is the methyl. Then after the prefix there is a that is primary suffix. So which is the primary suffix? Now see 1, 2, 3, the compound, all compound. In this molecule there is only a single bond. There are only the single bonds are there. So the primary suffix comes as a ane. Primary suffix, that is the ane. Then the secondary suffix. Secondary suffix means we will see the which functional group is present. So the OH, OH, that is the alcohol. Okay, that is the alcohol. So for the alcohol, we use the secondary suffix, that is OL. Okay. Now we will write the name first comes the prefix. So the our prefix here, it is the methyl group. So see, while writing the methyl group, now we must know to which carbon it is attached. Okay, the number of carbon. So we have to first select the longest continuous chain. Then we will give the number. So numbering yours, see, while giving the numbering, there are also some points you have to remember. So while numbering, you have to start the numbering. So one rule is there, you have to start the numbering so that that substituent will get the least number. Now see here, the functional group is present. So whenever the functional group is present in that molecule, you have to start the numbering from that carbon. So here, see the CH2, OH is attached to the CH2. So that carbon, we numbered it as a first. Then it comes the second and then third. So here, prefix, that is the methyl. So it is attached to the second carbon atom. So we will write it as a 2. See, 2 methyl. So whenever there is a number and the word, we separate it by the hyphen. So 2, after that there is a hyphen, that is hyphen dash, okay, small dash, that we called it as a hyphen. In the IUPAC nomenclature, we called it as a hyphen. Then 2, then comes the hyphen. Then the prefix, that is the methyl group. Then there is a that is 1, there is again hyphen is there. After the word there is hyphen, then again that 1. Okay, so that 1 propanol. So that 1 denotes the functional group position, like the OH, it is attached to the first carbon atom. So 2 dash methyl, then comes the 1 dash, then comes the word root, that is the pro. Okay, pro. And here, now there is a secondary suffix we are using, that is the OL. Now see here, the primary suffix is ANE. So that is the propane. Okay. But there is a functional group present. So the whenever there is a functional group present, then we will write it as the propane, so that E at the end, it is replaced by the OL. So we write the name as a propanol. It becomes propanol. To see the propane, we will use the primary suffix, that is ANE, because there is a 3 carbon atoms. There is a, that is the propane. Okay, the molecule is a propane, but in that the functional group is present. So we have to represent that also. We have to indicate that also. So that 2 methyl, after there is a 1. That 1 is, it is indicating the position of the functional group. So 1 dash propane. Okay, word root is pro, and the primary suffix we use, that is the ANE. So propane, because only single bonds are present. So primary suffix will come as a ANE, propane, and then E at the terminal. Okay, then it is replaced by the that's suffix, that is OL. So the name comes as a 2-methyl, 2 hyphen methyl, then again hyphen, 1 hyphen propanol. See here, terminal E of the primary suffix C is dropped if the secondary suffix begins with the A, E, I, O, U. You have to remember this. So while naming the chemical compound, first we have to select the longest continuous chain. So while selecting longest continuous chain, you have to take the longest, okay, so that it comes the number of carbon atoms should be more. Then see now, it is the first rule for that IUPAC nomenclature, longest chain rule. See, select the longest continuous chain of carbon atoms known as the parent chain. So there are two examples given. See, two means it is the one only. See, in the first there is a CH3, CH, CH2, CH2, CH3. Okay. So see, in the first example, they have, in the first example, they have numbered the compounds C1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. And in the second, okay, they have numbered like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So see the difference in the first numbering. Okay. Uh, in that only 5 carbons are they have selected the longest chain which contains only 5 carbon atoms. And in the second compound, in the second example, see, they have selected this longest chain, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So in the second example, the longest chain that contains the 6 carbon atoms. So like this, we have to select the longest continuous chain. Okay. So now see, in the second, they have selected like 6 carbons. Okay. So the third carbon to which the methyl group is attached. So that will be the substituent. That will be the substituent. That is the prefix. Whatever the substituent is present, that will be the prefix. So the correct way, that is the second one. So in that, the longest chain contains the maximum number of carbon atoms. So the second one is the right one. So in that, to the third carbon, the CH3 group is attached. So see, CH3, that is the methyl group. Okay. So name comes as a 3-methyl. There are, see, 6 carbon atoms present. So the word root comes as a hex because number of carbons are 6. For that we use the word root, that is hex. So hex, and there is a primary suffix, that is single bonds are present. So primary suffix here we use as a ane. So it is attached to the word root, that is hexane. It becomes hexane. So this is the correct way. First we have to select the longest continuous chain. So longest continuous chain means that chain should contain the maximum number of carbons. Now the second rule, that is the second rule, that is the lowest number rule, that we have selected the chain. Okay, then we have to number it. So we have to start the numbering from the end which is nearest to the side chain or a substituent. So as to give the lowest number to the carbon carrying the side chain. See here in the previous example. See, here it is, the numbering starts from this, that is CH3, CH2, CH. Okay. So CH. So the methyl group, it is attached to the third carbon. So now if we numbered it from the, see it is written over here, 6 number is written over here. So if we started the numbering from that end, okay, that from that end, then the methyl group to is attached to that carbon that carry the number. See, whatever what number it should come, like 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, means हमने अगर वो एंड से स्टार्ट किया, the 6 number is written over there. So हमने अगर वो कार्बन से स्टार्ट किया नंबरिंग, तो the 4th कार्बन, तो मिथाइल ग्रुप विल, जिस कार्बन को अटैच है वो कितना आएगा, 4th नंबर आएगा. एंड वी हैव टू start the numbering in such a way that that branch or whatever the substituent present, okay, that should get the lowest number. Means the CH3, see here, it is attached to the CH. So if we start the numbering from this end, like CH3, it is given 1, 2, 3. So that is here comes as a CH3 is attached to the 3rd carbon. अगर हमने इस वे से नंबर किया 1, 2, 3 सी, तो CH3 कौन से नंबर कौन से कार्बन को अटैच है, 3rd नंबर कार्बन को. एंड इफ वी स्टार्टेड फ्रॉम द अदर एंड, देन क्या होता है कि CH3 वो 4th नंबर को अटैच होता है. बट द सेकेंड केस इज रॉन्ग वन, बिकॉज हमको क्या देखना है कि जो CH3 जिस कार्बन को अटैच है उसको कम नंबर आने चाहिए. ओके, so that is the second rule, lowest number rule.